What's up, and welcome back, everybody, to the McRib Owner channel. This video is going to be a little different from the ones you've seen before. It's essentially going to be a sort of conversation, I guess a monologue of me talking about what's going on with the channel and what we're going to be doing in the near future, we as in me. But you will see many cool things that will come out of the stuff I'll be doing. We're going to talk about future content, the games I'll be looking at, and the games I'm going to cover with the crew of the McRib and the UMAD and all that good stuff. Some of the content will be solo, you know. We're talking about Let's Plays and just future content in general. Any opinions, put them in the comments below and we will work with you on that for sure. I want to get as much stuff out there as possible that you guys would like to see, but again, most things are going to have to be crew based on what everybody's playing. And then also I'm going to talk about upcoming games as we are in the 8th month of this year and the holiday season is upon us, or almost upon us. And you know, a lot of cool games are going to be coming out during the holiday season. Some of them have been pushed back to next year, and I will talk about some of those games as well, but I'm going to try to focus as much as I can on this year as that's current, because I will be giving you more updates as we move on. Alright, and my background is going to be, I'm going to be playing Magic. I'm going to do the Revenge campaign on the highest difficulty, and I'm just going to play casually. This is just against the computer, just to give y'all something to look at while I talk and drink whiskey. Okay. Alright, so let me pick my deck really quick. I'm going to try to unlock stuff for my Guardians of the Light deck. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is Battlefield. Now, if you guys know what Battlefield is, then you know what Battlefield 4 is. I'm going to draw on your hand. Ugh, that's kind of shitty. Oh, Lord. Ugh, that's even worse. Okay, I hate to be a dick, but that's just not going to work. Alright, so Battlefield 4. You've seen some of the alpha footage. It's going to be beta soon. The game looks absolutely amazing. This is one of those companies, DICE is, that does not let EA push them around. As a matter of fact, they seem to work very well together. EA's got money. They're just making great stuff. They've made some improvements to the graphics, but really it's just been all gameplay improvements, and it is essentially above and beyond what anybody expected. There's so many cool things coming back into the game that we had in Battlefield 2 that are making a comeback, and some new things as well that are just going to be over the top. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but you know, people with 2 screens, people with tablets and all this other stuff, the commander mode's coming back, 5-man squads, so many new ways to view and control the battlefield. It's just going to be over the top. And the reason I'm bringing this up is, well, one, Battlefield 4 is awesome. We're all going to get it. The content for Battlefield 3 at that point will pretty much stop. Battlefield is one of these games that DICE takes so much care in providing a proper new game that it is always very hard to go back to the previous game. You know, between Battlefield 2 and Bad Company 2 was a large gap, and essentially we were left with that gap. But once Bad Company 2 came out, it was like a godsend for most of us. And we played the hell out of Bad Company 2. And as soon as Battlefield 3 came out, didn't touch it anymore. As a matter of fact, it was uninstalled very quickly because Battlefield 3 was just that much better. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of how it's supposed to be. Oh, now I have to discard. This is going great. Let's see. Screw that. I don't need that one. Okay. So that's Battlefield 4. So essentially what I'm saying is, when Battlefield 4 comes out, we're all going to get it. We're probably going to get into the beta. I won't be making any beta footage because it's beta and it's probably going to be buggy. It was for Battlefield 3. But when Battlefield 4 comes out, it's going to be very footage heavy. Alright, well, I'm pretty much starting to run out of options here, so screw it. I'm just going to play that. Okay, moving on. I have 2 Let's Plays going on right now. One is not really a Let's Play. That's the Diablo 3 Hardcore, which is going to be just an ongoing thing. I'm probably going to split it into seasons of like 6 months or something, but essentially just us playing Diablo Hardcore. I'm trying to catch some of us dying on camera. A few people have already lost characters off camera, which kind of sucked. Man, this is going real good for me, isn't it? Let's see. What don't I need? Whatever. I don't really care about that card. Okay. So back to talking about the Let's Plays. One of the other ones I'm doing is Doom 3, and that is my first real Let's Play. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I had some technical difficulties in the beginning. They've been worked out. I have a proper editing program now, which just makes it a lot better, and I'm still a little bit of a noob. So content is going to get better as time goes on. But essentially, the deal is that I think I'm a little bit more... I'm probably a little bit less than halfway through the game, actually. But here's what's planned for Doom. Doom is a lot of fun to make, and it's a great starter for me because it's easy. So the story takes care of itself. I'm just getting the shit scared out of me, and you guys get to see it. I will be doing both Doom 3 BFG expansions. And what I'm going to do is... That's against white cards only. Man, this is not going well. I might have to start this one over. Anyway, shut up. Okay, so I'm going to finish Doom. And what's going to happen is... I'm going to do the expansions. That model will be switched over to a side Let's Play. So I'm going to be doing episodes maybe twice a week, instead of almost every day as I am right now. And here, I'm just going to die here, and that's fine. I'm not really paying attention much either, but they're going to switch to a secondary Let's Play or a side Let's Play. And what's going to take over from there leads me into the next topic, which is Final Fantasy VII. Yes, that is going to be my next Let's Play, and I really need to discuss about what's going to be going on with that. I got the remake version off of Steam, and I am unable to start the game on my 2560 by 1440p Quad HD monitor. It just won't launch. No problem. Essentially, that content is going to be done in 720p because I'm going to be doing the playing and recording on my laptop. I will be transferring the footage over to my main PC and do all the editing and whatnot, because that game will require editing, as I'll be taking out the battles, the ones that we have seen already, so it doesn't just take up a massive amount of room, and so on and so on. I'm going to be doing a tech demo of the game, and that essentially means I'm just going to have a rant about the game. I'm going to talk about it. I'll give more details about the technology I'm doing that's going into it, such as I'm going to be running it, at 720p. It's the remake, which means all the 3D graphic effects are going to be higher resolution and look much better. And I'm going to go through the game, and I'll discuss exactly what my focus is going to be. It's not going to be for completion. It's just going to be, to show the story and show you some cool tricks and some other things. And that actually leads me into a side topic of this. The McRib Owner channel is essentially dedicated to good footage. And what I mean by that, I want to deliver really high quality content. I play my games at 2560 by 1440p pretty much all out on a GTX 680, which is doing a fantastic job of doing it. I was recording a ton of Battlefield footage last night with the crew, and I was essentially getting 65 frames per second the whole way through. My Quad HD monitor has been overclocked 5 more hertz, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it does make a difference, absolutely. On an IPS panel, getting another 5 frames per second every single second just adds to the smoothness of it and everything else. But I'm recording at 30 frames per second. The game is running at 65 frames per second, and it was rock solid. So unless Battlefield essentially crushes my computer, which I don't think it will at all. They've even said that it's going to take about the same, maybe a little bit higher specs to run it than Battlefield 3. I'm willing to turn down 1 or 2 settings here and there to make the game run all out, and by that I usually mean anti-aliasing settings. I'm going to be running probably not all out, because on a monitor like this you don't need it. That's the whole point of going high resolution. Anti-aliasing is essentially a fake cover up of resolution. It makes things look better than they normally would because of the jaggies and all the stuff that comes with having pixels. So Final Fantasy VII will be 720 content, not because I can't do it in 1080, well, because I can't do it in 1080, but to me, that game is not anything in the current generation. It's not going to look much worse, it'll actually keep some of the nostalgia about being a little bit lower res, and it will get the editing done faster, and my laptop can actually record 720, which thank God, you know what I mean? Because there will be no way to record 1080 on the laptop. The hard drive will not do it. Not sustained. Absolutely not. So, alright, that's definitely going to go here. Try to stay alive here. Okay, so that covers Final Fantasy VII. I'm doing a tech demo soon, and then as soon as Doom is done, I'll probably go ahead and start the Let's Play as Doom switches to a side LP. Okay, now more future content. Let's keep talking while we're talking. And that is going to be... Oh, I'll go ahead and put that on there. Excellent. I'm going to keep up the Star Wars footage. The PvP looks great. It's so camera friendly. And yeah, we can do that. It's very camera friendly. It looks awesome. It's so much fun, and you get to hear us talking on Skype. It's great to do it once in a while. I'm not a subscriber, so you're only going to get a few of those every week or so. And that's not even consistent, but I'll throw that up there every once in a while because just cool stuff happens, man. And it's Star Wars. So I'm just going to run with it. Oh, that's nice. Okay, next thing, we're going to talk about D3, which I already mentioned a little bit earlier. D3 is going to keep going as long as we keep making footage. Right now, I'm a little bit behind the footage, and we're going to get back on Diablo here in the next couple weeks or so. I still have a lot of footage, so we're actually ahead of what you're seeing, but that's normal. So you're going to see definitely some more Diablo, and probably at the end of the year, I'm going to switch to Season 2, and who knows what's going to happen. It depends on if we lose characters or whatnot and whatnot. Okay, so that kind of takes care of Diablo. Essentially, we're just going to keep going with that. I hope you guys like it. I'm going to keep the same format. That means some episodes will be short. It's just going to be broken up however it is. There is absolutely no structure to Diablo. It's just going to be us talking smack on Skype and things like that, and just having fun with it, and that's it. So that's that, and that pretty much concludes the content for the rest of the year. I don't really plan on doing too much other stuff except for some of the upcoming games that we will be talking about in this section that I'm starting right now. So we're going to get into that. So the upcoming games that I want to talk about is obviously Battlefield 4, and that's going to, I hope to get as many people on this wagon as we can. The reason being is that with Battlefield, it is very camera friendly, just like Star Wars. It's awesome to watch just from the content, and Skype makes it even better. It just adds to it so much. Alright, I'm definitely going to do this. So Battlefield is definitely a huge go. I know you guys are going to be excited for that, and we are going to have a lot of fun with that. I'm probably going to lose this match too, but whatever. I'm going to go ahead and pick that because I can play it now. And we're going to go ahead. He's already locked down. And screw you. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about, a game I'm considering getting, is Splinter Cell Blacklist. It looks pretty good. It's also going to be very camera friendly. I'm not going to maybe do a let's play of it, but I'll show you some of the footage. I might play it. I'm a big Splinter Cell fan. I didn't play the last one, Chaos Theory I did play, which was great. Whatever the last one was. I wasn't really too into that format for some reason. The only thing I'm kind of sad about is that Ironside is not doing the voice of Sam Fisher. He just had that voice that just made it. Yeah, I'm screwed here. But anyway, so I'm going to be looking at that, and if it's good, then I might do a let's play. If it's, I mean, whatever. I'll just play it by ear. Okay, because I don't have a choice. We've got to keep going here. Okay, so that takes care of Splinter Cell. Wildstar. That's the next big deal that we have going. Not sure how I feel about the game. I think it's got potential, but without playing it, I don't know if it's going to be good or not. But I'm going to give everything I can a chance. So we're going to be looking into that. And if it's good, then you'll see a hell of a lot of footage. And if it's not, then, you know, short of mentioning it, you won't see much of it. Alright, I'm getting my butt kicked now. Moving right along. The next game I'm looking at is just going to be a blast. And I know how good it's going to be just from what we've seen. And that is Titanfall. This is a game that is so awesome that it is essentially going to be carrying, in my opinion, the Xbox 360. I mean, Xbox One. This will be one of the main reasons why people will get the Xbox One. Either before the PlayStation or at the same time. This is really going to be an instance where software pushes the hardware in sales because it looks awesome. Luckily, it's coming to the PC. I'm going to be doing tons of footage on that. And that's going to be footage kind of like we do Battlefield. Nothing really is too structured. You're just going to see awesome stuff. Cool things in multiplayer. Probably some cool stuff in single player as well. But just awesome stuff and great conversations between the crew. So definitely, if you don't know what Titanfall is, go check it out. Holy crap. IGN, just go look at IGN YouTube or whatever. Look at Titanfall gameplay. Just type that into Google. You'll be blown away. One of the other games that I was looking at, other than The Witcher 3, which I've seen some of the footage and it looks really good. I'm going to really get into probably The Witcher 2, and I might do some footage for that at some point, but we'll see how the game goes. Before I do Witcher 3, that's probably going to be next year. And the next game I want to talk about is The Evil Within. I think horror games do really, really well. That's why I like Doom, because you kind of get cool reactions and stuff out of it. So I'm going to check it out. The Evil Within has been delayed to next year, or not, or was just announced to be next year, but it's one of the first games that's actually got me excited in the horror genre. And the reason for that is especially I love the way the original Resident Evils were designed. And yes, the gameplay was not the best, but that's what made it good. Pre-rendered backgrounds were essentially created to overcome technical limitations back then, and I think they could. I wish, and I don't know if The Evil Within will do that. I just want a good horror game, and definitely look that up and check out what it is. But I want to talk about this pre-rendered background before I elaborate a little bit more. And that is, it was a technical hurdle back then to have a lot of stuff in high detail polygons back on the PlayStation and the N64 and so on, because you had memory limitations. You also had graphics cards or graphics chips inside these systems that just couldn't handle that many polygons with that much detail. So they put pre-rendered backgrounds in it. And that means the camera angles were fixed, which I think added to the atmosphere. Now, it was kind of a scapegoat for the engineers back then, for the software engineers back then. And I think doing something similar nowadays, where technical limitations aren't nearly as restrictive, could actually be harnessed. Because instead of doing a 3D world where you control the camera and it just, I don't know, giving a player too much control in a scary environment when you're trying to scare the shit out of them with atmosphere and other things isn't always a good thing. Just make the game fun to play. It doesn't, it's more about the immersion than it is the gameplay in those titles. Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, the remake on the GameCube. This is one of the first games that actually did a higher resolution and a much better looking version of a game like this. And I think with modern technology and the storage mediums that we have and the graphics power that we have, just imagine how cool a game would be that would play like the old Resident Evil. Maybe with some tweaks, obviously, make it a little bit more modern, but use a lot of pre-rendered backgrounds. And here's why it would be cool. One, the pre-rendered backgrounds would look amazing. They would essentially be rendered at 1080 or above. They would be more like video streams instead of just pictures with slight variance to them. Imagine how cool that would be, and it would work really well on consoles that are streaming off of their Blu-rays, because you could essentially have a ton of space for great camera angles and tons of awesome looking backgrounds. And the really cool thing is that saves a lot of power for the GPU, meaning that they could pump a ton of polygons and high resolution textures into the character models, but also the overlaying polygons, the stuff that you interact with. And one of the things that was funny about the old pre-render games is you could tell when there was something either going to happen or something was usable or whatever, because it looked totally different than the background, because it was made of polygons. It looked a lot more dull. It looked pixelated, okay? That wouldn't be the case anymore, because the polygon count and the textures could be so crisp and so perfectly designed to be looked at from these certain camera angles that it would really blend in with the background well. So the immersion factor just off the scale. And we get some of the old gameplay back, worrying about ammo, worrying about health, going back to chests, and not streamlining it too much. I mean, this is the stuff that built the series, and I think a lot of fans would love that. So, which leads me to The Evil Within. Definitely look at it. It's kind of a weird looking game. It's obviously going to be wicked horror. I just have high hopes for it. It's made by the guy that made Resident Evil what it is. And I'm gonna go definitely check that out. And that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. So this is like a McChat of, you know, all the upcoming stuff that I would like to do on this channel in the near future here. And I hope that you guys agree with what I feel like doing with this channel. And throw some support, you know, give me some opinions, throw something in the comments. Share the videos, do whatever you think would be great for the channel. If there's something I didn't mention that you want me to take a look at, I'll do it. I can go over it in another video. We're definitely going to keep Magic going, you know, here and there. We're going to be showing off games between ourselves, and I'm also going to take this online, and I'm probably going to be doing some Friday Night Magic style footage, kind of like on Force Strategy, which is I'm a big fan of his, you know. Definitely check out Force Strategy Gaming. It's my shout out to him, kind of off the record. That's my boy right there. And that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. So that's the kind of content you're going to be seeing from me pretty soon. And I've lost 3 Magic games in a row, so this is probably a good time to stop. But I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Definitely hook me up with some feedback, and I will catch you guys later.